Hey everybody, it's Taylor with Boydston Grove. Today's going to be a little bit different because we're going to specifically look at scroll saws. Let's get into it. Now this video is actually inspired by a comment that one of you made in another video saying that maybe I should give some hinters on what to look for when you're shopping for a scroll saw and my likes and dislikes with what I have. Now let me just preface this whole thing by saying I am by no means a professional. I am completely self-taught on the scroll saw. There are plenty of professionals out there that do this for a living and do some pretty phenomenal stuff. For a little background, this is a Sears Craftsman 16-inch scroll saw that is no longer in production. I picked it up at a secondhand store for around $30. It is almost completely cast metal and weighs a ton. That being said, this thing vibrates like crazy. If I don't have all four corners bolted down, it will vibrate itself right off the work area. I don't know, maybe all scroll saws are like this, but I know this thing vibrates super bad. The term 16 inches is the throat distance. That's the distance between the blade and the back here. Now, that is one of the things that I would change if I ever upgraded. I would get one that has a deeper throat, probably around 20 inches. The biggest I've seen is 24 for just standard everyday use, but I don't think that's really necessary. 20 would make a really big difference. There's quite a few things that I've learned over the years using this. Number one, this is one of those tools that you do not force the cut on, like when you're pushing wood on a table saw or pressing with a miter saw. On this tool, you want the blade to do all the work. You don't want to put a whole bunch of pressure on it. Which leads me to my next point, which is making sure that you're using the correct blade. They make all kinds of blades for scroll saws, ones that work with really thin wood all the way up to really thick wood. And I know that you've seen some of my videos where I've worked with everything from 1/8 inch plywood all the way up to 1.5 inch butcher block on this scroll saw, and it all has worked perfectly as long as I'm using the correct blade. I typically get a variety pack that has blades that range all the way from thin woods all the way up to thick woods. That way I have a variety of blades on hand. The blades for a scroll saw are super cheap, so don't be that guy that's trying to save the same blade forever and ever. That's why they come in multi-packs where you can get a whole bunch of blades all at once, because they're meant to be changed out. Now, being the type of person I am with a full-time job and the woodworking having to be something I do in my off time, I usually try to power through projects. A scroll saw is definitely not a powering through projects type of tool. This is the perfect tool to get a set of headphones, listen to an audiobook or some music, get a nice shop stool, and just sit there and take your time and concentrate on a project. As long as you're using the correct blade for the material that you're working with, and you make sure that you're moving nice and slow and let the blade do the work, this is an excellent tool to have in your arsenal in your woodworking shop. In addition to the vibration and wanting a deeper throat on mine, if I was in the market for another one, something else I would be looking for is a larger work area. A lot of the newer styles have a larger round working area, which I would really like, because right now I'm just working with this small rectangular area. And yes, it has holes where I could screw on a piece of wood and increase the work area, but with the vibration, I'm not sure how long that would last. One of the issues that you'll run into with a scroll saw is that because of the movement, it will build up a little pile of sawdust right on the line that you're trying to follow. And I'm constantly having to just blow that off because I don't have any kind of hose on here or anything. A lot of the newer ones do, and that's something that I would definitely like to either add to this one or get a new one that has it already added. Now, right now, the lighting in my shop is not the best, and someday I would like to upgrade it. But for now, it would be nice to have a dedicated light for this scroll saw like I had on my bandsaw. It goes back to trying to follow that really fine line and follow those designs you want to be able to see as best as possible. Last but not least, I would love some kind of weighted guard to help hold the material down, because I don't know if it's just because mine's so old with the vibration and everything, but if I push on the wood too much, it will catch it and cause the wood to what I call chatter up and down. And I would love to have some kind of guard or weight that would press down on the material and help hold it to the work area. Now, I know a lot of the flaws that I mentioned with my scroll saw come pretty standard with most modern scroll saws. So most of these things are not things that you'll have to shop for. Most of them already come standard. Now, I know this video was a little bit different than usual, but I really like that suggestion in the comments about just shedding some light on a tool that I use quite frequently in my shop. Like I said before, I believe that this tool can be an excellent asset to any woodworking shop. It's not very expensive, it's very versatile, and as long as you're using the correct blade and just taking your time, it can be really useful. I hope this video helps you out if you're in the market for a scroll saw or been thinking about adding one to your shop, or if you have one and you're not really sure how to use it. Thank you very much for watching, be safe, and have a great day.